Hi, everyone. It's Linda, and here's Denise. Denise,
Hey there.
I told you guys she was coming. She's an astrologer. A lot of people love you. They write me about you.
Really? Well, people
Oh,
write me
yes.
too.
They say, oh my God, I had a reading from Denise. She was fantastic.
Oh, that's very
Very
sweet.
good with astrology. Very good.
Well, thank you. Well, you're very good too.
Oh, thank you. So listen, Denise. So the good news is he lost.
Yes, you sure
And
did.
one of the things I wrote to you last night, because you're so good with, did you look at the chart? I was kind of wondering about Georgia, January 5th.
Really feel like I have a feeling, just intuitively, that the Democrats are going to win Georgia. Even though I have a feeling that's the flip that a lot of you guys, everybody's been feeling, that eventually the Senate is going to go blue.
Right,
Um, I mean, John Ossoff seemed to me like I had done a reading about that, and it seemed to me like his race was tighter than
right.
the other guy. But and it seems like John Ossoff should have nothing to be afraid of. But I think that I feel like there's more at stake for the Democrats, and they're going to turn people out. I think the Republicans. Um, I think the people that won their seats, they're lucky to have them, and I feel like they're not gonna the base is not gonna be as mobilized to come out. I don't know. That's just my intuition about it. I
That
feel like
sounds right because Biden is now king.
right, and I think they're just gonna try to kind of recede a little bit because and try to step in line. I mean, not to say that they're gonna go away, but I just have this feeling that the Democrats are going to have more wind at their back and they're going to actually win. And from looking at the astrology around the time of the inauguration, almost everything's in Aquarius, which is a major change in the energy of the country. It's like
Right.
all of a sudden there's all this sense of freedom and like things are going to be good. And there's a humanitarian kind of bent about it. So it seems like that would imply that, not just that. I mean, this is why I always knew Biden was going to win. But I also felt like it was going to be an unfortunately hard Scrabble situation, you
Oh,
know. Um, but I think that I do think that that implies to me that we're going to get an administration that can actually serve the people, you know.
yeah.
I also think, though, around the time of, don't be surprised when Biden takes office, because Uranus is in Taurus and the US Constitution signing chart is an Aquarius rising and it's an exact square. So what we have now with the election, where there's a square and we have all the excitement, we've also had protests and a lot of the people on the right freaking out and getting kind of crazy and stuff. Um, we probably will see some of that protest against Biden from the people from sadly from the right. I think
Yeah.
I you know and I think our nation is still really divided, and it's going to take some serious effort on everyone's part to kind of reunite it. And I think maybe some laws and things need to be changed in order to stop this. I think the problem is that we have two streams of information. We're living in a Neptune and Pisces kind of period where you can live in a bubble in your own reality. There's a lot of delusion,
Yeah.
going on. Nobody really, it's like sort of like evasive. So, um, unfortunately, you can stay in a stream and really believe everything that's in that stream and be completely out. This is what we're dealing with right now.
Right.
So
Right.
we have half
Right.
the country who's got one idea. They think Trump is like this. They really believe that he is like the savior. I mean, I live here in the South. I mean, they really believe that. And this is going to be hard for us to wrap our mind around it. People who understand what he really is, that he's a con man. But think about your granny and everything, your 90-year-old granny who's like talking to the Nigerian prince who falls in love. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with like people who really believe this. And
Oh, and you know what they're saying on Twitter? A lot of the Trumpsters is Biden cheated.
I know, and they're going to believe that. And Trump is going to
Feed it.
he's gonna feed it. He's gonna make it
But the
worse.
problem
And
is he's been turned down 7 times in lawsuits, and he never comes with proof.
no, he's
No
not
proof.
going to win any of the lawsuits. I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to find any way out of this, but he's going to burn it down. You know what I mean? That's who he is. He's going to try to burn it down. And
He is going to try to have his people talk to Biden and say, do us a favor, though.
yeah, I
And
agree.
I'm almost feeling they'll deny it, and that's when he goes crazy.
Wow, that could be. I kind of think I started getting, and I hate to say this because I don't want to be negative, but shortly after Biden was called the winner, I started getting this really intense feeling of impending doom. And it wasn't about Biden, winning and all that. I mean, I know Biden's everything's going to be okay in January, but
Yeah.
from now until January, I
Oh,
just felt
gotta
like,
stand
holy
down.
shit,
Yeah.
it's going to be really kind of
Well,
crazy.
when before all this, when I saw Biden winning, before he even won, I think you might have mentioned it too. I saw cells, and these cells are all working to create chaos or murder or whatever.
Right.
But I do see the Secret Service and the FBI. Like, I don't know why, because people were saying if he doesn't leave January 20th, he'll be taken out. And people are saying, yeah, just try it, just try it. And it's like, well, it's going to be the Secret Service that takes him out.
Yeah, he will be taken out. He's not going to stay
But
as
he's not
president.
going to stay that long, trust me.
No, he's not. I think he's gonna. I really got a strong hit, and I've asked the cards, and it just makes sense with what I got that hit back in maybe in March or in April or something. He's gonna leave the country.
Yeah,
He's gonna leave with his family, and I think it's probably Saudi Arabia. They have no extradition treaty with the United States, and he's gonna leave. He even said it at one of his rallies that he was, if I
if I
lose,
don't win, you'll never see me again.
right, right. So I think he's making plans. Now the thing is, I could never figure out how is it that the Secret Service wouldn't stop him because he's the president. He
Right.
can't just take off on a jet, right? But that could be the deal. I feel like that happens where the Biden
Oh,
administration and everybody's just like, okay, you go quietly into the night and we won't follow you because it's going to be better for the country if he's just gone.
I know, I know, I know. And you got to pick your battles. And
Yeah.
it's like bad divorces. Sometimes it's better just to call it and just keep going on, because if you put too
Yeah.
much energy on proving your point, but a
Mm-hmm.
lot of stuff, a lot of those people that love him so much, I saw
Yes.
so much stuff. They're still going to make it public. They're still going to talk about the things he did. And
Right.
unfortunately, the people around him are going to pay.
Oh, say that again. The people around him are going to
People
what?
around Trump administration are going to pay. Trump won't.
Oh yeah, you're right. No,
I
don't.
never saw him going to jail. I've been saying this for 3.5 years. People
Right.
beg, please, please, but I never saw. Maybe Junior goes, maybe Kushner goes, but I never saw. Although he might take them with him. They might have made a deal with Saudi Arabia, let me come.
I
I
think
think Saudi Arabia thinks he could come back in 2024 and win again.
they might, and they might think that they can prop him up and
Right.
have him in exile. And I really also got like I was meditating before I was doing my readings one day, and I didn't ask for this; it just came, and it was like it, they told my guides told me that he was going to sow chaos in exile, so that from afar he's going to continue to try to influence our politics and get these people riled up. And I think like this is to me, I mean, I feel like thank God we have this, period where we can steer the ship in the right direction. Do you know
Right.
what I mean? But I also feel like, and I don't want to be negative because this is a really wonderful thing. We managed to overcome and get like higher on the hill in the battle.
And
But the
there
battle,
was cheating. There was cheating. Right
oh
now, the
yeah,
bunch of ballots that Joy managed to keep a bunch, but we remember what I think you said it too, but I remember telling anybody, I don't care if he cheats. It's going to be so massive, the amount of people that vote, that they can't cover it.
no, I think that's right. I think that's right. Of course, the Russians, I mean, and all of his allies tried to cheat. He tried to destroy the mail service. I mean, that's cheating
Right.
in its, I mean, and all the mail-in ballots were for Biden, and he still won, because so
Right.
many people came out for him. But we
And
can't
it
forget,
just went up another 9,000 in Georgia.
I think it's, Biden won. I mean, there's no doubt, but and everybody knew Trump was going to cheat, right? Because we know who he is. I mean,
That's who
which
he
is
is.
why so
Well,
many
that's who the
people don't
Republicans are. They didn't want mail-in because it favors Democrats.
like. Right, that's right. Well, I think the thing that I think for me was kind of a bummer about the whole thing, which I don't. was just that how many people voted for Trump. You know what I mean? It was just
That
that.
hurt. Yeah. It's like, really? But
Yeah,
this is what my guide said after that. And I see, first of all, because we don't pounce on Trump, like he won't be sitting before a judge in handcuffs.
right.
Because the visual itself with the people that voted for him won't help Biden. Do you see what I'm saying? The visual of Trump before a judge in handcuffs would
Oh,
not
right.
help
No,
Biden.
no, right. No, that would
In a
be
way, long term, it looks easier. Yeah, go ahead and go to Saudi Arabia. And then
right.
they could warn him, if you try to cause chaos from Saudi Arabia, we'll come back and get you.
That's,
Right.
I don't think he'll be ever able to come back into the United States. Do you know what I
Right.
mean?
But I also feel his life forces will go down. He's really going to be upset.
Yeah, no, I kind of wondered a little bit, if he would, be able to handle this kind of reality because he has never been held accountable for anything in his entire life.
Never what you call a loser.
Right.
But I had a dream that before I started on YouTube that was so real that it was like being there. But I was in a shopping mall and there is a glass coffin and Trump is in it and the lights were on him and it almost looks like that Stalin look. You know how
Wow.
Stalin had that coffin and the lights were on him and his
Mhm.
face looked waxy. And I walked, people were mulling around, but nobody was coming up to the coffin. And I walked up to the coffin and looked down. And
Mhm.
I'm like, holy cow, that's really him. That's Donald Trump and he's dead.
Wow.
So I always thought, is it a physical death that
Right.
ends, like, is his life force going? But maybe I often wondered if he died before he got out of office. But now I'm thinking it just meant that, because what's going to happen? They're going to get through the Mueller, all that stuff. There's going to be so much information coming out about Trump. And they're doing this deliberately, even though they know he won't pay the price. They're doing it so people will know, even though they'll say fake news and all that. But it's going to be slowly. And listen, this is the other weird hit I got. Tell me what you think. I even see Mitch McConnell, probably because he's not going to have the backup he needs, going out of his way to work with Biden.
Okay. Yeah.
Won't be so stalemate like he was. He'll actually go out of his way. And I saw Lindsey Graham, who, said if we vote for Trump, it's the worst thing the Republican Party ever did.
Mm-hmm.
And then you saw what he turned into. And I see Biden coming in, and him, if Biden comes to a full stop, Lindsey Graham's head will go all the way up his ass.
That's pretty much Lindsey Graham's MO. You know what I mean? Yes.
He'll be, Biden's the best, and we need to work with Biden and Bob. Trust me, he's going to change his tune.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right about that. I think that makes a lot of sense. That's totally his character. He's always reminds me of the kid in school who wants to be friends with the popular kids and he does all their homework and carries their books and stuff. That's Lindsey Graham. So yeah. I could see him doing a 180.
Do you think there's anything untoward between him and McConnell, who had a 14% approval rate? Do you think some sort of cheating went on there?
That's a good question. I mean, I think that, what happened was, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it that much. I guess my feeling has been that, Trump basically, he really riled up his base. So
they might have just said yeah.
Maybe that's why those guys benefited from that,
And he's furious at them.
Trump? Oh yeah, I'm sure that they won and he lost. Yeah.
And they're not saying it was rigged, it's fake.
Well, they won. So why would they say that? I mean, I think it's kind of poetic justice in a lot of ways. I mean, even though at first I was really mad, I was like, how could people vote for Lindsey, all these people that were enablers of him. Right. But in a way, it's sort of poetic justice because he can't really say that. And the Republicans can't truly believe that. If you just look at the kind of, all these Republicans won their seats, and yet Trump, here he is, he loses. So it seems like a repudiation specifically about him,
Right.
Um, I think it's better actually in a strange way that that's what happened because there's less of a chance that they can, I mean, they can say that it was rigged, but if you just rationally talk to them, it'll start to dispel, I think, over time. They may actually change their mind about that. I
Right.
mean, I feel like, Trump he's a gaslighter, you know what I mean? And a lot of people, if you've had, and I don't know, I mean, if you've had an experience with someone like that, you understand what Trump is. But if you haven't had an experience like that with somebody, I think it's really easy to not understand what's going on with him and to totally take him at face value and believe that what he's saying is he's shooting from the hip. He's just an honest, he's just telling it like it is. Because I think that's exactly what the people think. They think, well, he's not a politician. He just says what he believes. And
It's
this
okay. He lies. It's okay.
they don't care about that. They think that he's telling the truth. I mean, this is the disconnect between the two sides, the two realities. I can't believe as I've talked to Trump people and they say, oh, he just tells the truth. It's like it's exact opposite of what he does,
Right.
but he's gaslighted everybody into thinking that he just tells it like it is. And he says the things no one else will say. They
Yeah.
take his hatred and his like terrible things he's saying, the things that people who are, the people that like him maybe think, and don't say out loud. This is why he's so dangerous and why he's awoken all these people who are, you know, this is why I'm saying like it's not going to just go back to totally like it was 4
No,
years ago.
and he just caused so much divisiveness,
He really did. He
and
really,
some
really
people just ate it up. They love that.
I know it. That's the depressing part. I mean, I don't want to dwell on the negative, but it really, that was my feeling was like, I think that was the sadness I felt about this period of time coming into right before what I feel into like the period after Biden takes office, I feel so much relief. But this period of time felt so tumultuous to me and
Yeah.
just sad, you know?
Another hit I got is when he's gone, there's going to be a lot of people that worked with him that are going to tell the truth. And
I
what I saw
feel
was those that love Trump will be, because these are the people they believed in. And they're going to
right.
come out and say, well, these things happened because he instructed this and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, if you were to ask them really literally, he didn't care about the people.
Right. No, he did not.
And that's the hard part because people love him so much and go out of their way and expose himself to a virus and do all this stuff. And
I
this
know.
man at the end of the day could care less about you.
I know. I think you're right. I think probably 20% of the people that who have been avid supporters of Trump will come over to the side of reality
Right.
over the next 4 years. I think those people will migrate,
Right.
but there will be this 30%. Like there was, like, I mean, I remember like being in Europe back in the 90s, going to a gas station and seeing a bust of Mussolini and thinking, holy, because there are people still 50 years
Yeah.
later
People
that
love
still
Hitler
like
stuff. Yeah.
Mussolini. And there'd be people that still love Trump. And there are people that
Oh,
still,
yeah.
you know,
Did
those people.
you see any of his children running or anybody's getting in that was a Trump person?
I don't see that.
Me
I
neither. I
don't
think
see.
it's over.
I don't think so. I don't see that.
So,
I'm not really so worried about the Trumps. I'm worried about somebody who takes Trump's template, who's actually a politician, and
okay,
sees what Trump did. I'm not worried about Trump. I feel like Trump is done, and
I think
he's
that too, and his
yeah,
family. Do you see Melania leaving him, exit stage
yes,
left? Thank you.
totally, yes, 100%.
I think she wants a divorce and her money ASAP because she knows.
I agree. And you know what I found out? I've had that feeling when I was looking at the charts because I was doing the book and I actually looked at her chart compared to Trump's. I didn't put it in the book, but I was like, oh, I don't even know how they're married, really, kind of thing. And I was like, they're going to divorce as soon as this is all over, I'm sure.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. The reason she didn't come to the White House during that period of time when she was wanting to stay in New York, remember that whole thing, and she didn't
And
want to move.
for her son.
Right, but you
Yeah.
know what that was really about? Her friend who wrote that book
Yeah.
about I saw an interview with her and she said the real reason was because she was renegotiating her prenup.
Yeah. If you want me to act like I like you.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Right.
they have Melania stand-ins. If you look at them closely, that's not Melania.
I've
They're
heard that.
people
I've
that
heard
act
that.
like Melania.
I've
I'm
heard that.
telling you, She's going to exit stage left.
She's totally over it. She does not care. She just married him for the money, obviously. Yeah.
Now, the next question I wanted to ask you is about Fox News. I saw something very interesting on Twitter today. Judge Janine Perot, or whatever her name
Oh
is,
yeah, yeah.
did a thing that was talking to Donald. Hey, D, she called him. And she asked him to step down gracefully.
Wow.
So sorry that it didn't work out, but you really need to step down gracefully.
Wow.
So Fox News got hit by someone, maybe Rupert Murdoch.
I don't think, yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Remember when they announced Arizona, Fox News did, and Jared and everybody went crazy and they called Rupert Murdoch and how dare you?
Right, right.
This is the flash I had. And tell me what you think. It just came, and sometimes my flashes are good.
Right, right.
I felt this feeling that, Fox News holds them up because it's good for their ratings.
Right.
But I got this feeling that in a way, people are glad they don't have to be beholden to him anymore.
I think you're right.
He made or broke, he could make or break you, and he would judge you, and Fox News is no good, or their polls are no good. I felt like they were cowering. Everybody's cowering, not wanting to get hit. You had to idolize him. What those women did real well. And now that he's not the king anymore, they're sort of feeling that sigh of relief, like we don't have to worry about being hit by him.
I think you're right. I think that makes.
I got that hit. Like they're happy. Even Rupert Murdoch. I think that Trump was becoming like, I'm king, and you'll listen to what.
He was so tyrannical. I mean, after the impeachment fail, like where they didn't remove him, he just went off the rails. You know what I mean? And he just became so vindictive.
Fired everybody. Speaking of,
he just lost it. So I think you're right. I think it was no longer in their best interest to even stay aligned with him, because they started sort of backing away at different points. And as soon as he did, he would try to clobber them and say nasty things about Fox News. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. They're probably relieved. I think a lot of the Republicans are relieved, because the reality is they were being bullied by him.
All the time.
They were bullied into submission. This is why I always felt like if we could get rid of him with the impeachment in the first 2 years before, like in the first 2 years, it would have been like the weeds. Like you pull up the weed before it spreads through your lawn. You know what I mean? But as soon as like Bill Barr came in, it became a different timeline. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It was like we're never going to get rid of him in the same way that we did, and he's going to create a lot of damage, which is what happened. But
but he's actually a chicken shit.
Oh, he's a total, yes, absolutely.
He's a bully, but he can't
take anything.
Very hard for him. He can't take the truth. So let me ask you something. Bill Barr, what happened to him?
Oh my God, I know, right? Bill Barr. That's the thing.
Have you got any hits on it?
This is the thing I've always been feeling about Bill Barr, is that he is shady and he's bad news, but he's a lawyer and he knows better, and he's gonna always walk that razor's edge of what's legal and what's not legal.
Right.
And he's going to be very hard to prosecute. Do you know what I mean? He's going to be very hard to get, because he's slippery and he knows the law well enough that he can dance around it. I mean, I think I feel like he is going to disappear in shame. I don't know that he's going to. I'm not sure that he may be, there may be stuff that comes out about him. I feel like I see him just drinking himself to death, basically. That's what I see about him. I don't know that he'll ever be held accountable in the way that he should be held accountable.
I saw bad.
Okay,
I think he'll get disbarred even. I saw them having enough to disbar him, because remember, hundreds of judges, hundreds of attorneys have asked the Bar Association to disbar him, because the things he did were so bad that
that makes sense. I could see that. I mean, being disbarred. I just don't think
were always horrible.
Oh yeah, he deserves to not be a lawyer anymore. But
right.
That's what I mean. I just see him like sitting around just drinking himself, like having no people, just him being a pariah, nobody wanting to have anything to do with him ruining his reputation, all these things. He's lost everything for what? For nothing. But I don't see him behind bars. I don't see him like being up on trial or anything. I feel like, I feel like he's just going to be a pariah, and he's going to be basically have nothing left.
Because I know Trump would be talking about Barr right now. Barr's looking into this. Barr's going to check this out.
Right.
I see Barr
Definitely.
hidden in the house, not tell him I'm not here. It's
Yeah.
almost like he's so mad, and he was fuming about his attorneys. Well, nobody's going to work for him.
Right.
Nobody's going to work
Right.
for Trump.
No, you're
And
right. But I
if
think,
they don't pay,
right. I think though that what the thing about Barr is he does know better. He knows there's no case here, and he isn't going to go that. He isn't going to, because he knows it's a losing cause, and Barr is ultimately going to protect Barr, which is what I'm saying. He walks the line of doing what's wrong and what's
Exactly.
legal. You
Exactly.
know? So he's
Yeah,
not going
you know, all his kids work there. His son-in-law works in Washington. They all know they're going to have to be packing their bags.
Yeah, I think he's lost everything for nothing. Barr. He's
Barr
lost his
will pay a
career.
bigger price than Trump. Trump's going to exit stage left, but Barr's going to be left behind, and they're going to. I see people in the DOJ squealing, talking about the things that they did.
Oh, I'm sure. I have no doubt that Barr will lose all of the things that made him, that puffed him up, that made him feel important. All of his legacy will be gone. Everything he will be considered the bad guy of history. He's gonna be pariah. He's not gonna have a job. He's gonna be just left by himself.
Right.
I don't think I think he's gonna be a pariah. So, but I in terms of the legal thing, like where we see him go up on trial. I don't know if that's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? If he's going to, I think he will be disbarred. I think he'll lose his career, but will he really be held accountable in the way that I think he's smart enough to not be held accountable legally? Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I think. That's my intuition. I don't know. That's been my feeling the whole
The
time.
stories and everything I get can also mean he will be rejected.
Oh yeah, totally. I
But
agree.
it could be his health too.
I agree. I think he's going to be. I mean, I think he's going to be alone drinking himself to death. I just think
Right.
he's lost everything. Yeah.
So do you think Biden will bring Veneman back?
You know what? That's a great question. I was thinking that when I saw Veneman, and I thought, you know what? He's such a sweetheart. He's such a good soul.
I saw him get the presidential medal.
Yes, I could see that. That makes so much sense. I feel like, you know what? I think he will be honored like that.
I see Biden talking to him because he was a hero.
He is a hero. He's
He
a total
told the
hero.
truth, and And Biden likes people who tell the truth, and he knows this man is a man of honor. So I feel in the back of their minds, they already have something they want him to do.
Yeah, you know what? I could see maybe he'll be in the cabinet. That would make a
Right.
lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense.
I do see. Now this is going to be this is a weird hit. I'm going to throw it by you. I don't know why, because he's a little bit of a sleething brat, but I do see someone like Mitch. What's the Mormon guy?
Oh, right. Romney, Mitt Romney.
I'm wondering if they're going to put him in the cabinet.
You know what? You know what? That makes sense too. I bet they put him in some kind of position. I think he will be instrumental in trying to be
Because he's the one vote that voted to impeach Trump, and I see Biden rewarding him.
I could see that. I could see him being like some kind of, whatever.
Because Biden's going to go across the table. He's going to get Republicans to make a case.
Right.
I just see the whole thing changing, and it's going to be totally different. But Mitch McConnell, I see him.
Yeah, I could see that too. I could totally see him in the White House, being in meetings, talking. I mean, Mitch McConnell has proven himself to be, a person who's steady and grounded and able to sort of use discernment and
Right.
not be part of like just go along with whatever crazy, and that he's a real American. Like he put the country over his party. I think that's really not very many Republicans.
He was just like, Trump gave his wrath to him big time.
Oh, I know. You're right. No, you're right. And I could see where Biden would reward his steadfastness and his dedication to the country. Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense.
So the ACA is coming up next week.
Oh God, I know.
I saw them not taking that.
So you mean, oh, you mean the Supreme Court not ruling
Yeah,
on it?
well, this is what I got.
Okay.
And I've said this before. I said when Biden wins, the Supreme Court, who knows that Biden's going to have some sort of people, he wants a committee to look at the Supreme Court. They are going to toe the line because they don't want to lose their job. Now, I know it's hard to get rid of a Supreme Court, but he can expand it.
Oh,
And they don't want that either.
Oh, he will expand it.
He will? Okay.
Yeah, he will. Absolutely. I'm sure that yeah. This is maybe part of what I was feeling. Look at that. The the tower card.
Oh,
I
yeah.
asked about the ACA thing.
They'll say that pre-existing conditions are.
Well, here's what I feel. I feel like the Supreme Court, as it stands, will hear that and they will vote. They will do something horrible. And this is maybe that ship of state thing that I got where everything's turned upside down while we're waiting for Biden to be president. However, and this sucks, but I feel like maybe on the other side of it, because there's an aspect going on in the US Constitution signing chart, which is all the planets, said pandemic planets, are in the 12th house, and they're opposing the Uranus and Cancer in the 6th, which means that the healthcare issue is still like really happening, and we have to solve it in a bigger way.
Right.
So even if they do this, and this is maybe going to feel like a huge, oh my God, like a tumbling, like I can't believe they did this. But in reality, it may reset us so that we can address this in a different way coming up in the next year or so.
Oh, yeah, Biden's already has the plan. He has a plan ASAP.
Right. So
in the meantime, and
I
it'll
think,
take them a while to get rid of it, right? They can vote on it, but then they have to give so much time to change it, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think there will be a grace period, probably, like you're talking about. But
I saw, and you can subpoena the Supreme Court to have it reheard.
I think you can, and I think when they'll stack the court because there will be no other choice. And I think,
yeah, because I saw the outcome being good.
I think it will ultimately be good. I think ultimately it would be better actually than what, but I think we might have a period where it feels like, holy shit, I can't believe this.
But the sad part is we never got to see Trump's health care.
I know, right? I mean, he got the best health care.
It's not a shame we never got to hear his health care. Wonderful health care.
Healthcare plan. Oh yeah, the one that was so great that was going to replace everything that never emerged. I know, that was insane. I can't believe anybody believed that. It was so crazy. I know. I think though that what will happen is they probably will overturn it, but ultimately it may scare everybody and freak everyone out, but something better, a new law will come in.
Can Biden come in and executive order something?
Yeah, he can. And I think that probably what will happen is he could do something like that, maybe put a Band-Aid on it, say, you know what, a grace period for this, or whatever. And
until
then
we have another plan.
And then they'll revamp the law and make it stronger and better. I have a feeling it's going to get better, actually.
Me too.
I think it's going to get better. It's just that it may be a little bit like, oh, holy moly, like I can't believe that just.
And you know what? Think about this. Let's say the Supreme Court says, yeah, no ACA.
They probably, I mean.
But if they say it, what's thinking of all those poor people, the ones who were for Trump? What the hell happens to them?
I don't know, but that's, I mean, the thing that a lot of those people don't realize that vote for Trump is that he wants to get rid of Medicare. He wants to get rid of Medicaid. He wanted to get rid of
Social Security.
He wanted to get rid of all kinds of help to people, his own freaking supporters.
His own people.
I mean, he was also exposing them to the virus. I mean, even if you survive the virus and you end up in a hospital, you will go bankrupt because the amount of money it costs to be in the hospital for a month.
I know.
Nobody could afford that.
Nobody can afford it. And you know what? They call it progressive. It's socialism. No, socialism is it's totally different. That is not socialism. It's helping people be able to help themselves so they can exist and be members of this society and work and know that they have health care and they got good college abilities.
The way I look at it is we pay taxes.
Yeah.
And our taxes should go to helping us.
Right.
We pay taxes. They should go to helping pay for everybody in everyone. And instead of it going towards, building new rockets and, stupid stuff, like
Trump's golf games.
education should go to helping our people. And I don't mind paying more taxes. I don't mind paying more taxes if I
Right,
know that there aren't going to be any homeless people and that everyone's going to have good health care. I'm 100% awesome with that. I would love that, if we
right,
didn't have to worry about that anymore. So, I mean, the thing is, you know, they call it socialism because, it's democratic socialism is what the Europeans have. That's what they have. That's basically what Bernie Sanders is. It's not the same thing as communism. And this has been conflated, back in the 50s as the same thing.
exactly.
They're not related at all. They're not the same thing. But um, yeah, communism is not the same as democratic socialism. Democratic socialism, we already have. We already have Social Security. We already have Medicaid and Medicare.
Right,
That's why the Republicans want to get rid of it. They've been trying to get
right,
rid of it since it started, almost 100 years ago now.
right,
But people like it because you
right.
pay into it and you get it. And
We're
the
gonna have something better. So you guys don't worry because we're gonna have something better.
mm-hmm,
So last question. I'm having a lot of fun, by the way. This is
I
great.
am too.
I try to keep it at least 30 minutes. It could not too.
Right.
Um, Jill Biden, what do you think about her?
Joe Biden.
She's a teacher.
Yeah, I think she's going to do a lot of good. I think she's going to do a lot of good for higher education. I
That's
think
what
she's going to find a way to bring the cost down and make it more available to a lot more people. I feel like there's going to be an expansion of, like, here in Tennessee, which may sound weird, we have a Republican governor who, if you graduated from high school, they would give you free school for your first 2 years of college. Yeah, and that was a Republican who did that. So there are
that's
good Republicans
great.
in the world. So, but yeah, and so I think she's going to do something like that. Maybe makes the first couple of years of college free. I think there's going to be some plans. She's going to do some. I think she's going to work on a lot of that stuff. I think she's going to be
And
instrumental. And
junior college, maybe make that free because junior college,
that's right, junior
you
college,
don't
right?
have to come out of high school and go into a college. You go
Right.
2 years in a junior college, which
That's
to
what I
me
mean.
can be just as hard. I watched my son do this. You don't have to take the SAT scores.
Right,
You go in, you don't have to have straight A's. If you
right,
had trouble in high school, you're forgiven. But
right.
you do 2 years with high GPA,
You can get into
you
wherever you want.
get accepted in a college of your choice because you're already considered a college graduate.
Right, absolutely. That's what I see her doing, like making that kind of thing free, making all community colleges free, putting money into those things. And
Right.
so, because for even if you don't want to get your bachelor's or your master's, even having 2 years of school and to be trained as, in some kind of like being a
And it's
tech
cool
or
that
something.
you don't have to worry because you don't have to worry about paying so much if you're if
Right,
you're underprivileged. They help you
right.
with the books, etc. And you can still live with mom and dad and
That's right,
maybe have a little part-time job, but you can do it. And then you save
right,
up for that 2 years, and at that they'll give you breaks just for getting.
right, right. I think there's going to be some real reform in that way too. I think there will be some new I think she's probably got some really good ideas about education and both, you know, below high school, grammar school. But I really feel like the higher education is the thing that needs to be reformed in terms of the
Well, they're
price.
they're going to look at the chairman and all those people getting too much money.
I think you're right.
They're going to look at the people within the organization. Why are we paying you millions?
Right, right.
That's cool. That's
Mm,
cool.
yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So
There's
I see that, and I see them putting that money back into the system. But I
right.
see it education and even the way our younger children, that's going to get
Yes.
worked on. And I
Yeah.
see they're going to throw some money at the school education because that's their thing. And
Yeah. I
also, they're
agree.
going to pay teachers more.
I think that's very true. I think that's
I
true.
read a lot of teachers, and every time I look at their cards, I'm going, girl, hang in there because your money's going to go up in the next year or so. So whatever they're doing, they're going to make sure teachers
Get paid better.
It'll be the government subside helping the states because the states are really the ones that
Pay for it. Right.
and you know
Right.
what
But
else
they'll
I
be,
come up with, which
they
is
can,
weird.
they can earmark it though for education. So
Yeah,
you can't, that's
but
probably
they'll
what they'll
go
do.
around and make sure they're doing the work. But
Right.
I also saw the lottery systems, like California has a lottery.
Hmm.
There's going to be investigations on that.
That makes sense. And there should be.
Because it's a lot of that money supposed to go to education. That's
It
why we
is.
voted for it.
And it does not. Does not. Yeah, does not. I know. I don't know why that's been allowed to happen for so long. That's, yeah. There's,
I'm looking forward. I am really excited. It's going to take a couple of years, so y'all be patient, but
right.
I'm looking forward.
Yeah, I think it'll be a much.
And I see, this is what I saw. I saw such good things coming to the table. And I see people like Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz and all those bitching and complaining. And it's
Right.
almost like the constituents are like, shut up, let them work on this. So whatever they're working on, it favors these people. And they're
That's
like
right.
telling these people, shut up, let them work on it. That's what I saw.
Well, that's good. I think you're right. I think ultimately it's going to be a much brighter and happier and breathe a fresh air kind of period we're coming into. The pandemic, is going to take some time to put back in the
Yeah,
box, and we're
right.
still going to deal with that. But
At least we know they're working on it, unlike Trump. Just let it
right.
happen.
Exactly.
Now, Denise, how
Yes.
do people get a hold of you for a reading?
You can go to my website, deniseseigelpsychic.weebly.com, or astrologyandpsychicpredictions.wordpress.com. And if you just Google my name, Denise Seigel.
Denise Seigel.
Yeah,
What was that first one? Denise Seigel.
Denise Seigel psychic.weebly.com. And then there's a little thing where you just hit the book now button. It takes you to my schedule and all the things I do and everything. Yeah.
Okay, so Denise Seigel psychic, and I couldn't hear the other.
Oh, .weebly, WEEBLEY.com. It's a free website.
Okay.
That's why I use that, because
Denise
when I
Seigel psychic.weebly.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's not at weebly.com. It's
just Denise Seigel psychic.weebly.com. Yeah, it's just .weebly.
Because I'll put it in the box when I load.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well, it was real, my friend.
It was fun. I'm so glad everything's good. You look awesome.
Thank you. So do you, girlfriend.
Yeah,
we have more to read.
We have more what?
We have more to read.
Oh yeah, I know.
Initially, I thought when he wins, I would come off YouTube, right?
Right.
And no, we got more to read.
Well, that's what I thought when I thought like, oh, he's going to be impeached, and I'm just going to stop doing YouTube videos. But no, that's not how it works.
We got things to do.
Yeah, we got things to do. Okay. God bless you.
Guys.
All right, have a